In a dusty village in Galilee where olive trees swayed and the Sea of Galilee sparkled under the sun, lived a boy named Bob. Bob loved building things, wooden stools, stone walls, and little boats to float on the lake. One day he climbed a hillside where Jesus sat teaching a crowd of children and grown-ups. His words were like treasures, and Bob listened with wide eyes. "Everyone who hears my words and follows them," Jesus said, "is like a wise person who builds their house on a strong rock. But anyone who hears my words and ignores them is like a foolish person who builds their house on squishy sand. When storms come, the house on the rock stands tall, but the house on the sand? Oh, it tumbles down." Bob thought, "I want my life to be like a strong house, not a wobbly one." But he wondered, what's the sand? What makes a house fall? So he set off on an adventure through the villages and hills, using Jesus' words from the hillside as his guide. Bob grabbed a small scroll to jot down what he learned about the sand that could make his life wobble. Along the way, he met people and creatures who taught him lessons from Jesus' teaching. First, Bob stopped at a shop where a scribe sold scrolls, but they were all blank. "Who needs God's words?" the scribe huffed. "I know enough." But when Bob asked about Jesus' teachings, the scribe scratched his head. Bob wrote, "Without knowing God's word, it's like building on sand. The Proverbs say that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good. I need to learn Jesus' words." Next, Bob met a boy named Levi, who heard Jesus teach but said, "I'll do it my way." Levi tried building a cart but ignored the carpenter's directions, and it fell apart. Bob scribbled, "Jesus said, 'Everyone who hears my sayings and does not do them is like a foolish man. Ignoring his words is sandy ground.'" In the marketplace, Bob saw a merchant bragging, "I'm rich, I don't need God." Jesus' words came to mind, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." Bob wrote, "Thinking I don't need God is like building on sand. I need to know I need him." A shepherd sat by a well, too ashamed to pray after losing a lamb. Bob remembered Jesus' words, "Blessed are those who mourn." He said, "It's okay to feel sorry and ask God for help." Bob wrote, "Not admitting when I'm wrong is sandy ground. I need a humble heart." A donkey blocked Bob's path, refusing to budge. "I do what I want," it brayed. Bob recalled, "Blessed are the meek." He noted, "Not following God's way is like building on sand. I need to obey Jesus' words." A goat chewed on dry grass but still looked hungry. Bob shared some figs and thought of, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness." He wrote, "If I don't love God's goodness, I'm on sandy ground. I need to crave his ways." A Pharisee pointed at everyone's mistakes, saying, "You're not good enough." Bob remembered, "Blessed are the merciful." "Instead of judging, I should be kind," Bob wrote. "Not forgiving is like building on sand." A lamb rolled in mud, thinking it was clean. Bob giggled and recalled, "Blessed are the pure in heart." He wrote, "A heart that's not clean with good desires and choices is sandy ground. I need to love what's true." Two fishermen argued over a net, shouting loudly. Bob remembered, "Blessed are the peacemakers." He helped them share, thinking of peace with God and others. "Not making peace is sandy ground," he wrote. A vine drooped, hiding from the sun. Bob thought of, "Blessed are those persecuted for righteousness." "If I don't live right for God, even when it's hard, I'm on sandy ground," he noted. An oil lamp flickered faintly in a house, barely lighting the room. Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth, the light of the world." Bob wrote, "If I don't share God's love, my light goes out. That's sandy ground." Bob passed a wobbly stone wall, ignoring a "Repair Me" sign. Jesus' words warned, "I came to fulfill the law." Bob wrote, "Not obeying God's rules is like building on sand. I need to live his way." Finally, Bob saw villagers arguing, refusing to make up. Jesus said, "Be reconciled with your brother." Bob helped them talk it out and wrote, "Holding grudges is sandy ground. I need to fix broken friendships." That night, Bob dreamed of a storm hitting two houses by the Sea of Galilee. One, built on a rock by following Jesus' words, stood firm against the wind and waves. The other, built on the sand of ignoring his teachings, crashed down. Bob woke up and smiled. "I know how to build my life now," he said. "I'll learn Jesus' words, do what he says, stay humble, love his ways, forgive, be pure, make peace, live right, shine bright, obey, and fix friendships. That's my rock." From then on, Bob carried Jesus' teachings in his heart, building his life stronger every day, no matter what storms came his way in Galilee. The end.